my t-shirt?
Sinead de Vries loves a live microphone before the video actually goes. It's her favorite thing. Yes, Sinead, we are huge fans of your t-shirt. It's huge. I'm also a fan of this amazing background. It kind of makes me look like the next host of Jeopardy. What? Welcome to a Collider TV Talk on a Friday. We have some unbelievable people here. As always, Sinead de Vries is here on
Hi,
Friday.
guys. I just realized that... Thank you. Happy to be here. I also just realized that no one had complimented my t-shirt yet. And then I got really sad about it. So I had to ask to make sure that you guys still liked it.
Sinead, we will always compliment you on all of the things.
Thanks, guys.
And also here, he's been on TV Talk before, but the reason that I brought him on today, and we'll bring him on obviously back and more, is that he's going to be my replacement host when I'm gone for my wedding and my honeymoon. He is the outlaw. He is John Rocha.
Hello, everyone. I wore my Dalek shirt because we were talking TV Talk, and I know Doctor Who's been nominated for like multiple. What are you talking about? Doctor Who's not nominated? Timey-wimey.
I didn't actually know that, but I'm glad you just told me in front of
glad we got
the entire
into that.
audience.
Yep.
You know, that's how I like to find out things around here.
But yeah, starting September 27th, I'll be out of town until October the 16th. So John is going to come in here, crush it as a TV Talk host.
I'll do my best. It's big shoes to fill, Josh. You're a fantastic host, and have
size
someone.
12s. It's not that bad.
Well, please. And mine are size 9s. No, I'm joking. Listen, I'm going to live stream that wedding. I have someone sneaking a phone in, and they got the Verizon package.
I was going to say, make sure it's the Verizon package because I don't want streams dropping. But yeah, dude, I'm psyched that you're going to be here to do this.
Thank you.
I think a lot of the fans obviously are psyched as well because a lot of fall TV to talk about.
Yeah, so much stuff. I'm catching up because you guys cover so much on this show. So I am jumping on top now early so I can get a lot of knowledge downloaded so we're ready to go and I can fill your shoes.
And the most important thing about hosting TV Talk is making sure that Sinead de Vries is happy on a Friday. That's all.
Right.
Sinead, that's a great shirt. I love that shirt.
Thank you.
Ooh, nailed it.
Nailed it. All right, so today on the show, we're going to talk a couple quick news stories, and then Sinead, John, and I are just going to go through, what is this, like 16 categories, 15 categories of the Emmys, give our predictions, who we want to win, who we think will win, take a few Twitter questions, so if you want to send them in, hashtag Collider TV Talk, send it over to me. Well, if we have time, we'll answer one or two, but let's get into it. So first story up is George R.R. Martin's got a new show at HBO in development, Who Fears Death. It's a post-apocalyptic kind of a thing. It sounds very interesting in the fact that the world isn't a different thing. This girl has been given some sort of superpower. It's based on a book, obviously. What do you think of how this sounds, John?
This sounds very, very interesting. I mean, it's set in the Sudan.
Yeah.
If they're going to keep faithful to the source material, it has sorcerers in it.
Very few African stories are told on television.
Yes, and it's interesting. George R. R. Martin, not African.
No.
The guy making the guy, Michael Lombardo, not African.
Yeah.
So, but I'm happy that they're showcasing this. And this is such a nice, smart move considering all the hoopla they got for Confederate.
Yep.
This is nice to kind of come with something like this and see what this story brings out. Because this story has a lot of credibility. You know, it won numerous awards for its diversity. So this is interesting because there are not a lot of Black or African American, or African, I guess you would say, post-apocalyptic stories out there written in sci-fi. So it's nice to see something like this.
That was always my problem sort of with Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Was it started in America again. I basically just wanted a completely new world, like whether it be Africa or Europe or Asia or something, and see how they handled a post-apocalyptic world as opposed to this. And this is cool. Post-apocalyptic North Africa. Her father's a sorcerer. She's got some terrifying powers going within her. It was a very well-received book. Sci-fi, very in the vein of what George R. R. Martin is good at doing and what HBO has been doing well. Also a coming-of-age tale story. So, Sinead, you like this kind of stuff. It's almost YA.
I love the plot of this.
Yeah.
The first thing I thought of was, I was like, are they? I have never heard of this book in my entire life, so I have zero clue. But the idea that it's like that's still that same mythical, magical type thing makes me really excited because I feel like that's something that HBO needs more of, you know, especially with Game of Thrones coming to an end soon. It's like we need another show that does magic
Yeah.
Right? I don't like to call it magic because I feel like it's in Game of Thrones it's so much better than just magic.
Like sorcery.
Right? So
Yeah,
we need
true.
something like that that's not so
GOT.
surface level. Like we need something that's a little bit more like
Yeah.
gripping. And this is so cool. But I don't know, post-apocalyptic Africa, and then she's the only one born with really light skin, and automatically that means that she's like the target.
Yeah.
I love it.
And,
It's cool.
and that deals with a very a big problem in Africa. It's
Genocide.
female genital mutilation.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
that's
and
part of it.
They do that, and it supposedly blunts her powers.
Yeah.
So this affects how she
Yeah.
progresses because she's got to fight her dad. And as this, it's going to be a confrontation. Then she might see it might be like Boy Named Sue and Johnny Cash. It's
Yeah.
like, well, I did this to motivate you to embrace your powers more. So it could be a twist coming later on down the show.
And we know sci-fi, fantasy, family dramas
Yeah.
pretty damn well. So, yeah. Again, really, really looking forward to this.
I'm in.
Sign me up. Okay, so next up, Jim Carrey is returning to TV in a starring role. He hasn't been on TV in over 20 years in a recurring role, basically meaning In Living Color was his last role on TV. Then he transitioned obviously beautiful into movies. The guy's an incredibly talented actor. And I know I was one of the few people out there that really watched and enjoyed I'm Dying Up Here, and he was a producer on that. He didn't do anything really in the show as far as acting. It got a second season. It was really, really well done. But this story and who he's teaming up with, Oscar winner, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, a producer, director, his guys that he's worked with before. These are the ideas that I love.
Yeah.
A Captain Kangaroo kind of story of a guy that was, and now he has an empire, but he was the host of an unbelievably popular kid show. Because I always wonder, where's Barney?
Right.
Right?
I definitely do not wonder that.
No, but like not but like what do those people do that were on Barney?
Barney was the shit of nightmares. Like I can't even think about Barney without like shuddering.
I know, but I'm just saying those kids that were on Barney, like, look at me, look at me.
Selena Gomez, Demi Lovato.
They were on Barney?
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. All these people
What
get their start.
happened to those kids? Like literally the most.
I thought they
famous
were all Disney kids. I didn't know they were Barney
No,
kids.
well, I mean, Selena and Demi were both on Barney.
Interesting.
So Barney's the clown, and Barney's in the sewer for you,
Ah!
right?
Yeah,
He's in the sewer.
yeah, he's
If Barney popped out of my sewer, I would go into cardiac arrest right then. And
We all float down here, Sinead.
but I feel like Jim I'm just imagining Barney and like covered in sewer grime. It's like
yeah, I already have like trained Harrison. I'm always like, no, we don't want to watch this.
oh.
It's terrible. His voice terrifying.
Yeah,
You know what else is terrifying? That Thomas the Train. That guy.
Oh, yeah.
Those are creepy
Especially
shows.
when
yeah.
they CG'd him like in later years.
Right.
Then it was like next level.
Oh,
creepy.
And
man.
it doesn't help when Alec Baldwin is the train conductor. Like,
Yeah.
the train is going here. He's like,
Where the hell did they get this guy?
Oh my god, I totally forgot about that. It's so funny.
You're like, but this show, like, a classic. Jim Carrey really hasn't been in a great movie or, well, obviously not TV, but hasn't really been in a great movie in a while.
Well, he's had a lot going on.
Has he?
Yeah, he really has.
Like,
Well-
go ahead.
Well, I mean, his girlfriend committed suicide
His
in
ex-girlfriend,
2015.
right.
Oh wow.
After like multiple suicide attempts, and they had like a
no.
very tumultuous relationship. And now her mom, I think is it her mom or is it her
Her
whole
family. Her family is suing him
are suing him
for wrongful
for
death.
wrongful. Like he's at the forefront of this.
I had no
yeah,
idea.
of
There's-
this lawsuit.
There's all kinds of crazy details whether he had gotten the prescriptions for her that
Yeah.
led to this, or
It's a
whether
lot.
so there's a lot of stuff that was going on. But here's the thing: we just saw him do that weird interview on E where he's like, "You don't exist, I don't exist. Why are you here then?" Well,
Yeah.
I wanted to come to the place with the most useless place I could come, and it's an icon thing.
Yeah.
You don't believe in icons, and so this is dangerous. I love Jim Carrey. Two pieces, and
Sure.
and Josh, you make a great point. He hasn't done a good movie since Eternal Sunshine, which is ironically the guy who is involved with him in this, Michel Gondry. So this may turn out to be fantastic, and I'm looking forward to it. But he may
It could
torpedo
also-
it.
it could- yeah, you're
before
right.
it even gets any kind of
Yeah. It's a
It's a
attention.
good
Yeah.
point. It's a very good point.
That's
It
what
kind of
scares
freaks me out a little bit
Yeah.
because, well, Jim Carrey's like one of those people that, like I don't even know. I don't know why, but it was my sister and I always gravitated towards those Jim Carrey movies growing up. It wasn't. We watched those movies
Yes.
more so than we watch like
Yeah.
movies that kids should be watching.
Sure.
You know,
Ace
I don't
Ventura: Pet Detective is still one
Yeah.
of the greatest comedies
It
ever
was
made.
just one of
Yes.
those movies that like I was like 6 or 7, and she was like, "We got to watch this movie." We watched it by ourselves, like as kids, and we fell in love with him.
So good.
Finkel
But
was
it
Einhorn.
doesn't freak me out.
Einhorn is Finkel.
The Mask. I mean,
Yeah.
all
The
those
best.
early Jim Carrey comedies, just like Adam
Like
Sandler.
Liar,
those
Liar.
Liar,
Liar,
Liar.
Liar.
Great.
Yeah. All the. I mean, friggin' Cable Guy.
Yeah.
Is genius.
And then he comes out with something like Eternal Sunshine, and then you're just like, okay, so
Wow.
like this guy is incredible in
And
every
Truman
way.
Show. Yeah.
Can do it.
And
Truman
the
Show.
Truman Show is one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah.
So I hope he doesn't botch it.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
That's the concern, right? Because I'm like, you can believe what you want to believe, but this whole thing of like, you don't exist, I don't exist. You're
Yeah.
foisting your beliefs on a person who's just interviewing and doing
Yeah,
doing
it was
her
terrible.
job. Like, it's disrespectful.
And
was
let's be
horrible.
honest, like there's a lot of people out there that think that when actors go on set, they all get along together or whatever. Do you know how much downtime there is between shooting shots and you have to listen to Jim Carrey talk, or he's putting weird things in your brain, or he like brings a sorcerer with him
Yeah.
and like, he blesses the set with a magic wand? I don't know. But I'm saying that there, you know, Dumb and Dumber 2 was almost torpedoed by Jim Carrey because
Yeah.
Jeff Daniels could not stand to be around him.
Yeah.
Because he's so scary. He was so scary.
And I think it played out in the results of the movie.
Yes, for
Yeah,
sure.
you saw
Also,
it.
if you haven't seen that interview, like go watch it. It's just it's very interesting, and if you haven't heard Jim Carrey talk in a while, you'll be very shocked.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right. Let's do an Emmy prediction. What do you guys
Yay!
think?
Boom.
Let's do it.
Emmys.
Sunday?
Emmys.
Good song.
Were you gonna interrupt my song?
That was
That's so
Barney's.
rude.
That was like a Barney Emmy song. Emmy, Emmy, Emmy. Here's the Emmys.
Stop it.
Okay, so we're gonna basically go through the key categories. If we skip one, we skip one. But these
Okay.
are the key categories. You know, you don't really get directors, producers, that kind of stuff in TV. So let's start with lead actress in a drama series. Lead actress drama series. You got Robin Wright for House of Cards, Carrie Russell for The Americans, Elizabeth Moss for Handmaid's Tale, Viola Davis, How to Get Away with Murder, Claire Foy, The Crown, and Evan Rachel Wood for Westworld. My pick, I think it's going to be Elizabeth Moss for Handmaid's Tale. I think she's like the breakout that I'm going to sneeze. First
Bless
time
you.
ever on TV Talk
There
I've
it
ever
is.
sneezed. It's the first time ever. I think a contender in there is Viola Davis, and I also think Claire Foy has a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for sure Elizabeth Moss going to win. It's the one that's getting the most attention, you
Yeah.
know, and her performances get written up all over the place, you know, and she's doing these multiple interviews for it. I think she's an excellent choice. But Evan Rachel Wood deserves recognition for Westworld. I mean, she's so great. Her progression from the first episode where she seems like this, you know, like this pushed around character who gets raped repeatedly and beaten up and dealt with all this stuff, to where she embraces her power by the end of the series, and you're just like, this is an amazing transition through those 10 episodes.
Yeah.
She was probably I hated that show, but she was one of the only bright spots in the
Right.
show that I really liked. So, yeah.
I do think it's going to go to Elizabeth Moss, but I wouldn't be totally shocked if Claire Foy didn't come out on top, because I just feel like The Crown, it's been a while since The Crown ended. I mean, streamed and ended at the same time,
Yeah,
but you
yeah.
know what I mean? Since The Crown was released. But I do remember that she was getting, it was kind of like the same, the way people were talking about Elizabeth Moss, everybody was talking about Claire Foy. And there was something about her.
Yeah.
That show kind of like dragged on for like,
A while, but
Years.
without her, that
but
show
she was
isn't.
so good.
Yeah, that show's nothing. Okay, so we're all pretty much in agreement. Elizabeth Moss, but Claire Foy, maybe Viola Davis, and Evan Rachel Wood have recognition. Okay, lead actor in a drama series. We've got Bob Odenkirk for Better Call Saul, Liev Schreiber, Ray Donovan, Milo Ventimiglia for This Is Us, Kevin Spacey, House of Cards, Matthew Rhys, The Americans, Sterling K. Brown, This Is Us, Anthony Hopkins, Westworld. Start with you, Sinead. Who do you think?
It's got to go to Milo Ventimiglia, right?
What?
I really
Wow.
honestly think
Really?
so. I really honestly think so.
Oh my goodness, Sinead, shocker.
Okay.
I was gonna say I thought it was definitely going to Sterling K. Brown. That's who I think it's gonna be. Is
I
that-
feel like, I don't know. I feel like there.
I thought he was the breakout star of This Is Us.
Sterling
he
K.
was the
Brown?
breakout star of last year with OJ and
yeah,
everything,
but
too.
also Milo Ventimiglia also just won. Like he won most of the awards too. So I feel like there's something about him on screen that everybody just
It could-
falls in love, men and women. I'm not romantically, just you fall in love with who Jack is and the type of father that he is. And I feel like his character is written so well because he got so many opportunities to do so many different things.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I loved it.
Okay.
Also, I'm obsessed with him, so could be biased.
He's awesome. I will say there's some really odd nominees in here because there was a lot of amazing acting performances. Like Leo Schreiber and Ray Donovan, I feel like that was like an auto draft.
Yeah.
He's good, but he's
so
not
good.
amazing. Matthew Rhys and the Americans, I love that show, but I thought this year wasn't his best. I thought last year was his best. And Bob Odenkirk in Better Call Saul, he's great. That show is great, and it revolves around him. I just don't know if it was like deserve it enough to be the best.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think Sterling K. Brown is the winner here because of his journey reconnecting with his biological father, and then what happened, and when that big thing that happened, people remember that. People carry that with them, and it's such a powerful moment. I think that, sometimes people vote on emotion, and I think this is what will push him over the edge over Milo. And but I don't disagree with you. Milo did
I love them
fantastic
both
work
so
on that
much. It's
show.
so tough.
It's a This Is Us category.
Right,
It's a This Is Us
absolutely.
category.
For sure.
And it could be that they cancel each other out,
Yeah.
and someone like Kevin Spacey slides in, or someone like
Which would
what
be
you were talking
ridiculous
about,
again.
Odenkirk. Yeah.
That'd be so
Another,
bad.
Kevin Spacey. I don't. Anyway, all right. Let's go to lead actress in a limited series or movie. Lead actress, limited series or movie. Got Felicity Huffman for American Crime, Reese Witherspoon,
this is a
Big
tough
Little
one.
Lies, Jessica Lange for Feud, Betty and Joan, Nicole Kidman, Big Little Lies, Carrie Coon, Fargo, Susan Sarandon, Feud, Betty and Joan. My pick is Jessica Lange for Joan Crawford.
Your
in
pick, or
Feud.
you also think that is who's going to win?
That both.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Rocha?
My choice is Reese. I think Reese did fantastic work in Big Little Lies.
great.
And I did not want to like that show.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't care about these rich people and their kids and blah, blah, blah. And I started watching, because coming on the show for the first time, reviewing the pilot, I watched it and I was like, damn.
Uh-oh.
And I started getting hooked, and I watched it, and I'm like, she was amazing in it. I think Jessica and Susan may cancel each other out here. And so I think that's why
And
Reese
also,
will win.
but also Reese and Nicole could.
Oh, that's
cancel each
possible
other out.
too. But my dark horse is Carrie Coon. Carrie Coon in Fargo was amazing this season. And if you couple that with what she did on The Leftovers, this woman is an incredible actress, and we are blessed to have her on our TV screens.
Yeah, agreed. Sinead, what do you think?
I agree with Rocha. My pick would be Reese Witherspoon.
Wow, okay.
But I don't know if she's going to win. I think that Jessica Lange could come up there. I even feel like Susan Sarandon could come up there.
Okay.
But if it's not Reese Witherspoon, then it's going to be Jessica Lange.
Jessica Lange was so good as Joan Crawford.
Yeah,
And
she's amazing.
I love that series. Okay, let's lead actor in a limited series or movie. We've also got Felicity Huffman. Oh, there we go. Ewan McGregor, Fargo. Benedict Cumberbatch for Sherlock. Riz Ahmed for The Night Of. Jeffrey Rush for Genius. John Turturro, The Night Of. And Robert De Niro, The Wizard of Lies. My pick, and who I think is going to win, I think it's Ewan McGregor for Fargo.
Ooh.
Because very underrated performance. He played both characters. And unlike The Deuce, you could differentiate the characters not only via costume but via acting. I really do that they were both very well done performances. I thought when spoiler alert, you want to throw a spoiler alert up there? Fargo season 3, when the one brother died midway through the series, I thought, man, they got rid of my favorite character of this season, and Ewan McGregor as the other brother really brought it along. So I'm gonna go Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
John,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Oh, I say John Turturro. I think so much about The Night Of hinges
Creepy
on his
feet.
performance. Yeah, everything. Yes, exactly. But so much hinges on what he's doing in that show. Riz Ahmed is fantastic, obviously, but I think what John Turturro does in that show is the anchor of that show, and I think for sure he's the one that's going to stand out and get the nomination. But I don't begrudge you on that. Like, I loved Fargo this season. I know a lot of people bashed it, didn't think it was
Wasn't
good.
the best season.
That's what some people say. I loved it,
Sure.
and that's a difficult thing to play. Two brothers constantly on set as you're trying to create these characters, and then have that happen and have his progression too, because they both had arcs.
Yeah.
To create two arcs similar, it's fantastic what he did.
Sinead?
Well, these are all the shows that I've never watched ever.
Okay.
So just seen bits and pieces of, so I have no idea. I don't feel right making a choice,
Okay,
you know?
I like she recuses herself.
Yeah, you know,
That's
I
a
don't
legal
think-
term I learned
I
from
feel
The
like
Night
they
Of.
deserve better than me, you know?
Yeah,
And don't you think Jeffrey Rush won't win because he had to share that?
this,
that
and I thought
Albert
the kid
Einstein
was
thing?
better.
The kid was great.
Yeah, and I liked Genius. I didn't love it as much as I thought I was going to love it.
right.
Really looking forward to see what they do with Picasso.
Yep.
All right, we're up. Lead actress in a comedy series. Lead actress, comedy series. Pamela Adlon, Better Things. Jane Fonda, Grace and Frankie. Allison Janney, Mom. Tracy Ellis Ross, Blackish. Lily Tomlin, Grace and Frankie. Ellie Kemper, The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. And Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Veep. I don't know if they go back to Julia Louis-Dreyfus for Veep, because I think they'll probably give her one for the last season, which will be next season. Although she deserves it because she's amazing.
She really is.
Tracy Ellis Ross, I think, is a fan favorite. But if I wanted to pick and who I think is going to win, I think it's Jane Fonda for
I knew
Grace
you were
and
going to
Frankie.
say that.
Oh.
But Grace and Frankie also like really resonated with you,
It
right?
did. I really loved that show.
Yeah.
I kind of want her to win. I think she deserves the recognition. I think she was great. Pamela Adlon in Better Things is a vision. That show is nothing without her. She's so good. I just don't think it has the kind of traction that is going to win her an Emmy.
Right.
Yeah. What do you think, Sinead?
I think it's going to be Tracy Ellis Ross.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not a bad pick. I think she's probably number 2 for me because that show.
Yeah.
Again,
She's so good.
she's the best part of that show.
Yeah,
I
she's
like
so
Anthony
good.
Anderson. I love Tracy Ellis Ross.
Yeah, I liked her since Girlfriends. Like I had no business watching a BET show like that, but I got sucked into that show and loved it.
Yeah.
Where's Persia White? I miss you, Persia White. So, but look, I think it's still going to be Julia Louis. You know, sometimes voters are lazy and they just
Yeah.
go with what they want. And then when she's won like 6 in a row or something
Yeah.
like that.
I wouldn't be
And she-
surprised.
Yeah,
No.
she's so great on that show, and the show went
Deservedly
another
so,
level
yeah.
this season as well when they took away a lot of what she's used to doing. But I do think Pamela, that's a great thing you point out, Josh. She's a dark horse.
Yeah.
The fact that she even got the nomination is amazing, and it may be enough to put her over the edge.
Yeah.
You never know.
So basically, Ellie Kemper is definitely not
No,
going
she's
to
not gonna win.
Even though
she's very
great.
good. The show is
Yeah.
funny, but okay. Lead actor in a comedy series. We've got Donald Glover, Atlanta, Anthony Anderson, Blackish, William H. Macy, Shameless, Zach Galifianakis, Baskets, Aziz Ansari, Master of None, Jeffrey Tambor, Transparent.
This is tough,
This is a
too.
really tough category. My favorite is Donald Glover in Atlanta. My second favorite is Zach Galifianakis in Baskets. However, I think it's going to be Aziz Ansari because I think Master of None season 2 was heads and shoulders better than season 1, and Aziz Ansari, he brought it to another level. I didn't like him in season 1, and I loved him in season 2.
Yeah.
I think it's Aziz. Sinead?
And you know what? Master of None created such like pop culture buzz too.
Yep.
When it came back, because everyone was looking forward to it so much. So I wouldn't be surprised, but it should go to Donald Glover.
Yeah.
It should.
It should. I agree.
Yeah, I think
John?
it's going to be Donald Glover, and I think that's the way they make up for not giving Atlanta the award. I think they're going to give him the award for this. I think he's going to, because he writes and directs the show and
Yeah.
acts in it. So there's credibility with other artists that you see the work he's putting into a show like this. I think Aziz Ansari will suffer by the fact that it's not as popular as it should be to put it over the top to
Yeah.
it's enough people. But
But
you
Atlanta's
are
the
absolutely
same
right.
thing.
Atlanta
But Atlanta
flew
won
under the
last
radar.
year. Atlanta won last year, didn't it?
No,
Or
this is
No.
first
won a
nomination.
Golden Globe or something.
won a
like
Golden
that.
Globe.
So it
For
brought
best
attention
new
for it.
series.
Best,
Yeah.
No, not best. It was best comedy series.
Best
Not
comedy,
comedy.
but it brought attention to it, so I think people are on notice for it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't.
Or Tambor could slide in too.
Again, I don't think that show is funny. I think it's a half-hour drama. I really do. I
Yeah,
agree
it's
with
like
a half-hour
it's
drama.
that dramedy type thing. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
they're just
yeah.
like I don't really understand.
But throwing in two
But
jokes
he's great.
every half an hour is not a drama.
Yeah.
I agree with you. John.
I really enjoyed Donald Glover in Atlanta, but my favorite actor is the supporting actor who played
Heck yeah.
Paperboy.
Yeah.
Okay, Variety Talk series. You've got Full Frontal with Samantha Bee, Jimmy Kimmel, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, Real Time with Bill Maher, The Late Late Show with James Corden, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Now, this is a jam-packed category, and before Carpool Karaoke, I would have said this is Last Week Tonight with John Oliver's to lose.
Yeah.
Right? I think John Oliver's show pushes the narrative the most, but I wouldn't be shocked if Samantha Bee won. Really.
That's my pick.
Samantha Bee?
Bee is my pick. What
Okay.
she's doing on television is incredible. And all these people are getting credit for having better second seasons or better fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth seasons. She's been excellent from the beginning.
Yeah, she's
and
good.
I think that needs to be recognized. And I hope she slides, especially in a category full of men.
Yeah.
I'd like her to slide in and win this thing and be like, yeah, women are absolutely funny too. Women are just as biting in the political commentary
great.
when you give them a chance. Yeah,
To be honest with you, and I know that they had certain people, but I thought Samantha Bee should have been the next host of The Daily Show. That was just,
Oh,
she was
absolutely.
so good.
What do you got against South Africans, huh?
Nothing. I think Trevor Noah's doing a great job, but I think of the stable that they had, Samantha Bee was clearly the best. But also, I don't like South Africans. No. Love you, Sinead.
Diplomatic
What do you think?
immunity.
Right.
Okay, well, like for me, I would give mine to John Oliver, but that's just because that's out of all of these, that's the one I enjoy watching the most. Samantha Bee is just not my style, but I do think she's gonna win because I have watched that show so many times and laughed, and I was like, that's weird because I
She's
didn't
good.
expect myself to laugh as hard as I have. So it's kind of like watching a comedy, and I also got the news, so it's like I feel like in terms of doing something different, it's definitely
Win.
for her.
Yeah. Okay, limited series. We've got Big Little Lies, Fargo, Feud, Betty and Joan, Genius, The Night Of. Again, another jam-packed. I think Big Little Lies wins, but I would not be shocked if The Night Of won.
All I can do is echo what Josh just said. I absolutely agree. I think Big
Those
Little
are my two
Lies
favorite.
absolutely wins. And the night of, if it doesn't, it's going to be the night of, right? I know people love Feud, Betty and Joan, and people talk about it.
So good.
I just don't know if it's that one that's going to make people jump on top and vote
Agreed.
for it. So, yeah.
Sinead?
Yeah, it definitely has to be Big Little Lies.
Okay. All right, let's move on to comedy series. Comedy series, Atlanta, Blackish, Master of None, Modern Family, Silicon Valley, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and Veep.
How are these people going to pick winners? I don't even understand. I feel
Listen,
like
I
this is
think
nothing
this-
compared to, I mean, this is like a lot compared to last year.
Right? Like
Yeah.
this is here's the thing. I think you throw out a couple. You throw out Modern Family because it's
Yes.
been nominated so many times. Great. Fantastic. I think you throw out Silicon Valley. Okay. And you throw out Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. So now you have Veep, Master of None, Blackish, Atlanta.
That's still ridiculously
Impossible,
Yeah.
right? So here's what I would vote for. I would put all of my cards in Atlanta's basket with like 2 cards left for Master of None. Even though I loved Veep and I love Blackish, I think those are your 2 front runners. That's me.
Oh my God, I see. I don't know because I feel like a lot of people, like Blackish, got so much better too, and I feel like that's what's fresh in people's mind. And also Master of None. So I feel like it should go to Atlanta, but in terms of, I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm excusing myself from this category. That's like impossible.
That's really tough.
Every once in a while, voters want to feel like they're intelligent and they are voting for the right thing. And I think that's why Veep is the choice for me here.
Okay.
I think people will want to vote for this political biting commentary because
Yeah.
they were essentially, the last few months have been ripe for political commentary, and they were months ahead of time writing these episodes, and it worked. And so I think that's going to be the choice. They're going to default to Veep. But if they don't, Atlanta takes this thing.
Okay.
Yeah, because people love that show.
Oh, for
It's
sure.
So good.
All right, we're gonna pick up our pace just a touch.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Drama series. You got Better Call Saul, House of Cards, Stranger Things, The Crown, Handmaid's Tale, This Is Us, Westworld. I think there's a lot of cancellations out. I'll do the same thing I did. I think you throw
Okay.
out Better Call Saul. I think you throw out House of Cards. I think you throw out Stranger Things, and you throw out Westworld. Now it's between This Is Us and The Crown
Okay.
and Handmaid's Tale.
You're really gonna throw out Stranger Things?
Yeah, that's not
Yes,
going to win.
It's not going to win.
I think it's The Handmaid's Tale. I really do. I would love to see The Crown win, but I think it's Handmaid's Tale. It's the buzz.
Unless something nutty happens and the popularity of This Is Us overwhelms everyone, it could be This Is Us. If it isn't, then it has to be The Handmaid's
Yeah.
Tale. It just has to be.
Sinead?
Yeah. I will agree with you guys. I think it's going to be The Handmaid's Tale. But This Is Us, to me, would not be a surprise. But also, if Stranger Things does end up coming through and winning this, I quit the Emmys.
Yeah, I quit too.
I quit.
It's ridiculous. Okay, let's go on to supporting actress in a drama series. Supporting actress in a drama series. We've got, I don't know how to say that person's name.
Uzo Aduba.
Uzo Aduba. Sorry, Orange is the New Black. Ann Dowd, The Handmaid's Tale.
That person's
Chrissy Metz,
name.
This Is Us. Millie Bobby Brown, Stranger Things. Samya Wiley.
Samira
Wiley. Sorry, my vision's not the best.
What? You
Handmaid's
need
Tale.
glasses.
And Tandy, I do. And Tandy Newton, Westworld. I don't know. I want Chrissy Metz to win because I thought she was fantastic in This Is Us.
She's not going to win.
She's not going to win. And it's not going to be Millie Bobby Brown. I think it'll probably be Samira Wiley for Handmaid's Tale.
I take Tandy Newton in Westworld.
Really?
I loved her in that show. And it revitalized her career.
Yeah.
You know, Tandy wasn't doing much before Westworld came along. So I think that's the one that's going to put her over the edge. People love what she did on that show.
Sinead?
Tandy Newton would be my pick. I love Chrissy Metz too, but I think Tandy Newton takes the edge. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that person named Uzo Aduba wins for Orange is the New Black. Because even though Orange is the New Black is not
the worst.
is not a great show, you know, it was
Can't
good for
with
like
that show,
4
no.
minutes. She is incredible, and
I
people
don't
do
disagree.
know it.
I don't disagree. All right, supporting actor in a drama series. Drama. Jonathan Banks, Better Call Saul. Michael Kelly, House of Cards. John Lithgow, The Crown. Jeffrey Wright, Westworld. Mandy Patinkin, Homeland. Homeland?
Yes.
David Harbour, Stranger Things. Ron Cephas Jones, This Is Us. I want to give it to my boy Ron Cephas Jones because he was so effing good in that role. But I think it's going to be John Lithgow for The Crown.
Yeah,
You think
I
so,
mean,
Sinead?
I think so. I think Josh is right.
Winston Churchill, he was Winston Churchill.
Yeah, and he's already
Yeah.
won the Golden Globe
Yeah.
and the SAG Award for this. So there's
Yeah.
no way. It would be a miracle if he doesn't win this
Correct.
thing. So it
Correct.
just works.
Are we
What
at
about
4?
David Harbour for Stranger Things, though?
He was so good, but I don't think he's going to win. I love you, Sinead. All right, let's burn through these last 4.
Okay.
We've got supporting actress in a comedy. 9 people from Saturday Night Live and another person. Vanessa Bayer, SNL. Kate McKinnon, SNL. Judith Light, Transparent. Leslie Jones, SNL. Catherine Hahn for Transparent and Anna Klumsky for Veep. I think they all cancel each other out, and it's either Anna Klumsky or Kate McKinnon for SNL.
Yeah, I think Kate McKinnon absolutely will win. But I wish this was not the strongest Klumsky season, but she deserves an Emmy. She's fantastic on that show.
Good.
2 seasons ago, she was great.
Also in *Halt and Catch Fire* right now, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will agree. I will say Kate McKinnon.
Got
for
it.
sure.
All right, supporting actor in a comedy. You've got Louis Anderson, Baskets, Alec Baldwin, SNL, Tony Hale, Veep, Ty Burrell, Modern Family, Penn State, Titus Burgess, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and Matt Walsh, Veep. Again, my pick is Louis Anderson, Baskets. He is just unbelievable in this role. It's like nothing we've ever seen on TV. I swear to God.
He's my dark horse,
Okay.
Louis Anderson. I love him in that show, but I think it's going to be Baldwin for all his Trump stuff and all the stuff he's done. People just talk about it too much, and I think they want to recognize him. You know what this town is. You know how this town leans.
Right.
So I think for sure.
And we have to remember that Rocha is onto something because, like, the past few Emmys, it's become more and more opinion over the years, especially in the last few years. So I think that Baldwin is going to win.
Okay. Supporting actress in a limited series or a movie. We've got Regina King, American Crime, Shailene Woodley, Big Little Lies, Jackie Hoffman, Feud, Betty and Joan, Laura Dern, Big Little Lies, Judy Davis, Feud, Betty and Joan, Michelle Pfeiffer, The Wizard of Lies. Listen, I think that Jackie Hoffman is unbelievable as Mamacita, and Judy Davis as Hedda Harper, but I think you're going to give it to Shailene Woodley for Big Little Lies, right? I mean, Laura Dern is great, but she has a much smaller part. Shailene Woodley, which is weird because I thought Shailene Woodley should have been nominated for lead actress.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to Shailene Woodley.
I mean, she's the impetus for the show.
Yeah.
The stuff that happens with her kids is the impetus for the show. Everything revolves around her. So it would, it's surprising that she's supporting actress, and they probably did this to get her the nomination.
Correct.
So
yeah. Sinead?
Did any of you guys see The Wizard of Lies? Because I didn't.
Yeah.
I did.
And
it was
how was it?
fantastic. Michelle Pfeiffer's good.
Yeah.
But it's a very subdued role. It's a De Niro show in that movie.
Yeah, okay, because that's the only one I'm not familiar with. But it has to be Shailene Woodley.
Okay. Finally, supporting actor in a limited series or movie. You've got Alexander Skarsgård for Big Little Lies, Alfred Molina, Feud, Betty and Joan, Bill Camp, The Night of, David Thewlis. Say it again. Thewlis for Fargo, Stanley Tucci, Feud, Betty and Joan, and Michael Kenneth Williams for The Night of. Now, my pick and who I want to win is Michael Kenneth Williams for Night of.
Okay.
I thought he was just so good in this role. Like he's a charming sociopath. So I want him to win. I think he's going to win. But if I had another person to throw in there, I'd probably throw David Thewlis in there for Fargo because
it was other level what he did. It was
yeah.
transcendent what he did on this season of Fargo, creating that guy so creepy without wearing clown makeup. One of the creepiest villains I've ever seen in my life. But I think it's going to be Alfred Molina. I think his work on Feud is being recognized, and slowly but surely people are starting to write articles about his work and what he did on the show. So that's my pick. As a surprise pick. It's an upset.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. Sinead?
Again, the only 2 shows I've watched here are Feud and Big Little Lies, so I don't really know about the other guys. But based off of Feud and Big Little Lies, I would probably give it to. I mean, both of those guys from Feud are good, obviously, and I love Stanley Tucci in general, but I think it would be Alfred Molina.
Boom. All right, that's our Emmy picks, our Emmy preview. Tune in Sunday. We will be right. Tune in Sunday. We're going to watch the show live, and then we're going to, right after the show, we're going to have an Emmy. It's going to be myself, John Rocha, David Griffin, and Grace Hancock. Yeah. And then Monday on Clouder TV Doc, we'll do another little wrap-up of Emmy. We're also going to binge American Vandal this weekend. I know a lot of you guys have been asking on Netflix. A lot of TV to watch this weekend. A lot of fun stuff happening. Again, next Monday, we're back, 11 a.m. PST. We're so out of time. Sorry we couldn't take Twitter questions or pick of the week, but we gave you all kinds of picks of the weekend for the Emmys. Before we get out of here, Sinead, where can the good people find you?
I'm online at Sinead de Vries and at that'ssosinead.com, and I will be back next Friday.
Boom. John Rocha.
Awesome. You guys can find me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and Instagram. New episode of the Cinephiles, The Matrix, dropped this morning in the SK Plus podcast channel and on Mailbag tomorrow with Dennis Zhang.
And again, starting September 27th, John Rocha will be the host of TV Talk for 13 episodes, all the way until October 16th. So thank you, John, again for stepping in. Can't wait to see what you do with the show. I'm Josh Macuga. Josh Macuga on Twitter and Instagram. The Josh Macuga Show on YouTube. As always, put down the book, pick up the remote.
Hey guys, if you like this video, click the thumbs up button. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'll help you stay up to date with everything we've got going on here at Collider.